7, I got sick with the flu. And as usual, I had to drink this specific syrup that would magically heal me up, according to my mom. Well, that specific syrup tasted horrible. It wasn't one of those fruity flavored ones. Instead, it had a bitter taste. Let's just say, I was not a fan of it. One of those days, while my mom was preparing that syrup, I was determined not to take it. So what did I do? I convinced my mom to let me take the syrup in the bathroom, in case I threw up. While in the bathroom, I poured all the syrup down the sink. When I got out, I acted disgusted. My parents believed me. But the first time I lied, I was a little nervous and a little scared because they could find out at any moment. But after I got through that starting lie, I was able to keep lying, each time with less stress. But as people say, a lie will always come out, no matter what. That's what happened to me. One of those days, while I was in the same routine, I had forgotten to close the door. Big mistake. Right while I was pouring the syrup down the sink, my sister walks in. I was in a panic. It was my sister. Of course she was going to tell everyone. I opened my mouth to explain, but I wasn't sure whether to start with, "Oops, it slipped," or "I think it was expired." Either way, she had already seen everything. So I resorted to starting an argument. Of course, that did not help the situation. Instead, she went running to my parents. There was nothing I could do except wait. A few minutes later, my parents called my name. They wanted an explanation. I had to tell them everything. They were furious. I don't know what I was expecting. I had just lied to them. Not only that, I had also wasted money and medicine. After that, I had to drink all my medicine in front of them. With that one lie, I had lost my parents' trust, when I could have taken the medicine just for a few more days. We have all lied, and we have all been lied to. That doesn't make it right. Okay, but I'm not trying to make everyone stop lying, because there are lies that keep us from hurting people's feelings. Like, "It was so nice to meet you. I like that shirt." But we also have black lies, where it's mostly for selfishness, to avoid an admission of guilt, by saying, "I didn't do it. It wasn't me. It was my sister." As you can see, we all lie. And some of us more than others. But lying starts to become a problem when most of our life is based on a lie. Let me explain. Let's imagine our life is like a tower, made out of different rectangles stacked together, just like a Jenga. When you say a white lie, the tower will wiggle, a little, but enough to make you a little nervous or scared. When you say a black lie, the wiggle becomes an earthquake, making you even more stressed and even more worried. But you also have dark lies, where a lie that might affect someone or yourself negatively. When you say a dark lie, a rectangle will be removed, making the tower easier to fall. The more dark lies you say, the more rectangles you lose, basing your life on a lie. Everyone lies. There are some people who lie more than others, but the problem is not that someone has more lies than another. It's the darker the lie, the more damage you'll do. However, there is more. A part of your brain called the amygdala starts to become really active every time you lie. But according to a neuroscientist named Neil Garrett, every time you lie, the amygdala starts to relax. The more you lie, the more your amygdala will start to decrease, making your emotions like stress, fear, worry decrease even more. But when you start to lie more and more and more, you might not notice those signs as much, making you lie more unconsciously. Everyone has different reasons to lie. But that doesn't make it right. We should be aware of the consequence each lie brings. Because would you like to be lied to? But what if we treated all lies equally? Even white lies. Wouldn't we like to know that our meal is not cooked properly before giving it to someone else? Wouldn't we like to know that you're gonna be 30 minutes late instead of 10? All types of lies have consequences, even if you think you're saying a white lie. So the best way to deal with lies is not to lie. We should all just stop lying. No more, of course I remember you, or, oh yeah, I get that. Okay, let's be honest. Lies will continue to be part of our lives. We just have to be aware of the consequence each lie brings. Even if the lie is white, black, or any other color, the lie will have a consequence. Oh, by the way, I like that shirt.